Welcome in to the Roll Tide Rewind. We appreciate you joining us here today. If you like what you see, give us a subscription to the channel. I'm filming this on February 25th. As right now, we have 990 subscribers. We are so close to 1,000. Maybe when this releases on, I believe I have this set to go on March 3rd. If it goes on March 3rd, hopefully we have 1,000 by then. If not, we'll be very close, I hope. So give us a subscription if you like what you see. Today, we're going to go a quick video. We did offensive depth chart 2 days ago, defensive depth chart 1 day ago. Now we're going to ask the question, is Alabama's special teams improved? Is it going to be improved from last year? I like to think so. We added in some good additions to the team. Let's go over those additions and then also just play some fun trivia. I have some trivia in here for the first time. Transfer additions, we have Lorcan Quinn, a kicker from Marshall, and Adam Watford, a punter just from down up the road in Florence, Alabama, at North Alabama. So we have 2 new guys that are coming in to hopefully compete for starting jobs. Let's go over them real quick. So I think first we're going to go over Lorcan Quinn. Yep. In 2025 was his first year of American football, actually. He's from Ireland. He played soccer, went to a camp with a friend and started kicking footballs and kind of realized that, wow, I'm pretty good at this. So went in and played American football at Marshall. 21 of 26 on field goals last year, 38 of 39 on extra points. But the key thing here, 4 of 6 on 50-yard field goals of a long of 55. Has a lot of potential of that leg. And then we'll move to the next thing. This is the question I asked. Is that the 50-yard field goals? I said 4 of 6 from 50+. And here's the question. How many 50-yard field goals has Alabama made in the last 2 years? So this is going to be Kalen DeBoer era question. How many 50-yard field goals has Alabama made in the last 2 years? I'll let it sit for a few more seconds, and then we'll go to the answer. And then bonus points if you get who kicked it. Graham Nicholson versus Michigan in the Reliquest Bowl, 51 yards. So no regular season 50-yard field goal for Alabama. They only attempted 1 last year. Against Florida State. Is a 51-yarder against Florida State and actually was kicked short. So that was why we didn't kick many of those last year. Connor Talty, 16 of 23, 69.6% field goal percentage, 15th in the SEC, 7 of 11 on 40-plus yard kicks, 0 of 1 on 50-plus. Credit to Talty, though. He did finish the year pretty okay. He didn't miss a field goal in the last, I think, 3 games against Auburn, Georgia. Well, he didn't kick one against Georgia, against Auburn, and then he kicked a few against Oklahoma, and then he kicked 1 against Indiana. So he made in the last few games, he made all of his field goals, which I'll give him credit for. Very rocky start in the middle of the year, though. Very rocky. So that's kind of why Lorcan Quinn is brought in to compete. Next, I believe, is punting. Yes, Adam Watford from North Alabama. 66 punts last year, 46.6 average, 18 punts inside the 20, and he kicked a long of 74 yards. That's incredible. That's 3/4 of the field. FCS record in 2025, 17 punts of longer than 50 yards. So while it is FCS ball, punting is punting at the end of the day. So 17 punts of longer than 50 yards. He was the United Athletic Conference co-specialist of the year. I think he's a front runner to start at punting. Lorcan Quinn and Connor Talty will be more of a position battle, whereas this one I think Watford walks right in and is the starter. I don't see that being a issue. But let's go to the next trivia question. So he had a 74-yard punt with North Alabama. The question is, when is the last time an Alabama punter had a 70-plus yard punt? And who was it for bonus points? I didn't add that to the last one for the Graham Nicholson answer, but who was it? When I was figuring out this information, I had an idea of who it was, but I just didn't know like when he did it. The answer is going to be probably the best punter in Alabama history, J.K. Scott. In 2014, he had a 73-yard punt against Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl. Wild stuff. And Adam Watford had a 74-yarder, so maybe he breaks the 12-year-long streak and gets us a big punt. Punting in 2025, Blake Dowd graduated. He came from Colorado School of the Mines. 42.3 average, was 13th in the SEC. Watford was 46.6. We also have the number 2 punter in the 2025 class. Alex, he was injured I think a lot of his senior year and then a lot of his freshman year at Alabama, so he didn't really get the chance. But it's not a big surprise, really, I guess, if he starts. Adam Watford has the experience, and he has multiple 70-yard punts, co-specialist of the year in the UAC, but he was the number 2 punter for a reason out of high school. So, I mean, if he's like starting, I guess you'd be like, wow, maybe he is just really, really good. The injury really is what set him back. So we'll see what happens, but I like what we have in Adam Watford more likely. Last part of this video, we'll go over the returners. Kick returner Lockzier Brooks was the main returner last year. We weren't really great at kick returning. Really, realistically, haven't been great at kick returning since in the last 2 years. But now time for this question. When was the last time Alabama had a kick return touchdown? They're rare. They happen every so often. But when was the last time Alabama had a kick return touchdown? When I was thinking of this question, I actually skipped over this one. My first thought was Josh Jacobs in 2018. I know he had a kick return touchdown against Louisville, but I totally missed this one, and I was at the game. Jamison Williams versus Southern Miss. He had 2 kick return touchdowns in the same game, and I don't know how I skipped over that, but there you go. There's your trivia question. I think we'll have one more trivia question at the end, so please stay tuned. Punt returner, early favorite, I would have Dijon Lee, had a 27-yard punt return last year in one game. I think Alabama wants to return the ball a little bit more. Cole Adams didn't return the ball as much. He did a lot of fair catches last year, which credit to him, he only muffed, I think, one of them and recovered his own muff. Whereas when Ryan Williams had his one of 2 returns last year, he fumbled it. So Cole Adams did his job of not giving the ball to the other team. But you also want a guy that can make explosive plays and kind of flip field position, because the punters are flipping the field position, but if you can flip it back, that's always very important in the punt return game. And now to the last question. When was the last time Alabama had a punt return touchdown? I got this one right. When I thought of it, I got this one right. I didn't really like the answer, but when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I know who did it. The reason I don't like the answer is because it's Caleb Downs versus Chattanooga in 2023. He wasn't our main punt returner that year. I think it was Kool-Aid McKinstry, but they let Caleb Downs return a few, and against Chattanooga, he took one to the house. So, and he ended up being a good punt returner for Ohio State as well. So let me know what you think about the special teams. Do you think we're going to be much improved this year? Leave it down in the comment section. But until then, hope everyone has a great rest of their week, and roll Tide.